It seems all we hear these days from people in charge of our taxes is that there isn't enough money. So you'd think any local government that discovered it might be wasting millions of dollars would jump on an easy fix.
Not Cincinnati. It got not one, but two warnings that it was misspending your tax dollars. It didn't pursue the issue until this year, right about the time the I-Team started asking questions. Hagit Limor joins us with her investigation that has some local leaders fuming tonight. Hagit?
Cutting police officers, closing health clinics, charging for garbage collection. Some of the tough choices the city manager says we have to consider to balance our budget. So why didn't the city go after what could have been millions of dollars it overpaid in medical claims? That's the question we've been trying to ask the administration for going on 3 months. Why didn't the city pursue this money the minute that it found that it might exist?
City Manager Milton Dehoney knows all about numbers.
What we've lost is $52 million.
Whether it's the streetcar or the budget, he's clear.
Until we generate more revenues, we're going to struggle.
So you'd think Dehoney would be thrilled to hear of potential millions the city could gain.
Have we gotten any money back from Anthem?
I can't answer your questions.
Any dollar we can get at this point, we should be chasing after.
Which is why Councilmember Leslie Giz and former member Jeff Birding can't accept what the I-Team's about to show you.
Do you think we're wasting taxpayer dollars here?
Well, there's no question that they're going to waste.
The waste that's burning, Giz and Birding, has to do with what's in these 3 reports taxpayers spent $100,000 to commission that concluded the city is overpaying medical claims. And when we say city, we mean the taxpayers. Cincinnati self-insures. Your taxes fund the benefits. They also fund Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield to handle the paperwork.
And that's what the reports looked into, whether Anthem was doing a good job administering the claims. The city hired an independent auditor called Healthcare Data Management, or HDM. It found that in 2006 and 2007, Anthem made erroneous medical payments to the tune of $809,000 in the retiree program, $342,000 for then current employees, and $270,000 in prescription payments. Grand total, $1.42 million in errors just in 2006 and 2007.
Imagine 2008, 2009, 2009, 2010, and so on.
And the report actually references that they would expect to find similar overcharges and errors in prior years.
The report didn't just find errors, it offered advice to correct future misspending, identifying problems like duplicate claims, benefits paid after people no longer work for the city, and not applying the correct co-insurance.
I hope that those have been addressed, but I don't know that they are without a second audit. I mean, no one's going to know whether they've closed the gap on that.
But not only is there no second audit, the ones issued in November 2008 sat on a shelf collecting dust for at least 2 years, until the city's internal audit division issued its own report, an audit of the audits, this past November. The report asks why the city never followed up with Anthem and says HDM promised they would return to Cincinnati at their expense to act as the city's agent in negotiating financial resolution with Anthem. Like the council members, the auditors ask why the city isn't looking at more than 2 years of data. It is conceivable that the same issues continue to exist. Prior to this, risk management had not completed a review of healthcare claims in over a decade, compounding the risk that taxpayer dollars are being wasted.
Why do we spend $100,000 on an audit and then do nothing with it?
That I can't ask, and I mean, I can't answer, and that's a great question. I mean, that should be asked, because we do these things all the time. We have commissions put together to study things, and then we ignore what they say.
Now, the city had not only the original audits claiming potential millions in tax dollars, it also had its own internal auditor backing those claims. And yet, nothing happened. In February, the I-Team started asking questions. We wanted to talk to the city's CEO, the city manager, to ask him about this. For 3 months, we asked for an interview to no avail. So last week, we tracked him down at City Hall. You are in charge of the money. How can taxpayers ask you questions? How can we ask you questions if every time we ask for an interview, we're told we can't have it?
It can't be an ambush deal.
We don't want to do that. We are trying to schedule an interview. What can I do to make this happen? What can we do to get some answers for the taxpayers?
I'll check tomorrow. Somebody will let you know.
This week, we finally got the city's definitive answer. It says the original audits were wrong. The errors were due to HDM using the wrong benefit booklet. After talking to Anthem, the city says it calculated again using what they say is the right book and came up with only $15,000 worth of mistakes to claim. But that has raised even bigger questions.
I find it hard to believe that that's what happened here. I think that HDM is a very credible organization. They did this audit several years ago. It was reviewed by our internal auditor, who's highly respected at City Hall. And then all of a sudden the media comes calling and says, this doesn't look right. Now all of a sudden there's just a whitewash. Oh, you know what? Everything's fine. They were just looking at the wrong book, the wrong benefits book. I just find it hard to believe. If that was the case, someone would have known about that, should have known about that years ago, and not just when the media comes calling.
Late this afternoon, the company that bought HDM issued a statement that directly contradicts what the city told us as late as this morning. It says our records indicate the mistakes surfaced when we reviewed a draft audit report. When we determined that we were given incorrect information, we made corrections to our analyses before finalizing the audit report. In other words, the company stands by the $1.4 million figure. We called the city back. Its spokeswoman says the city went through the audit line by line and stands by the $15,000 figure as accurate. Earlier today, the city distributed this memo from the city manager to all of council, saying in the future, the city will run audits like this every 2 to 3 years. Only then will we know if the overpayments rank in the few thousands of dollars or the millions experts tell us should be in play. Back to you.
We'll be interested to find some more answers to that, Hagit.